Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to learn some really practical daily Arabic, not by staring at a textbook, but by following a simple story.
Really think about that for a second. What if you could skip the complicated grammar rules, forget about those endless vocabulary lists, and just absorb the language through the natural flow of a real day?
So here's our plan. We're going to follow a guy named Ahmad. We'll be a fly on the wall from the moment he wakes up till he goes to bed. We'll see who he talks to, and most importantly, we're going to learn the exact words he uses. So you ready? Let's start our day with Ahmad.
Okay, so our story begins where most days do, in the quiet of the early morning. The sun's just coming up, and Ahmad's day is about to get started.
It's a peaceful start. He wakes up, performs his ablutions, that's the washing, and gets himself ready to begin his day with a moment of prayer and quiet reflection.
Now check this out. The very first thing he says is this small prayer of gratitude. He says, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'dama amatana wa ilayhi nushur. It's just a beautiful way to start the day, acknowledging that you've been given another one. Okay, so with his spiritual routine complete, his focus shifts. It's time for breakfast, which means it's also time for his first real conversation of the day.
He walks into the kitchen, sees his mother, and here it is. Listen closely. Sabah al-Khair, ya ummi. It's so simple, so warm, and absolutely one of the most essential phrases you can learn. Good morning, my mother.
And this right here shows one of the most beautiful things about Arabic greetings. It's not just a simple back and forth, it's like a little poem. Ahmad says Sabah al-Khair, which means morning of good, and his mother replies Sabah al-Nur, which translates to morning of light. It's like she's taking his good wish and making it even brighter. How cool is that?
So, right after that lovely reply, she asks him a question we all ask every single day. Kaifa haluka al-yawm? How are you today? Now pay attention to that little ka sound at the end of haluka. That's how you know she's talking to a male. If she were asking, say, her daughter, she'd say haluki with a ki sound. It's a small detail, but a really important one.
And Ahmad's response is the classic polite answer. Ana bi khair, I am fine. But then he adds, walhamdulillah, and praise be to Allah. You'll hear this a lot. It's a way of weaving that sense of gratitude right into everyday chatter.
And that's pretty much Ahmad's morning. But now, he's got to head out for school, and that means a whole new batch of people to talk to. Let's follow him out the door.
Alright, so Ahmad's out and about now. This is where we'll get to see how he greets people outside of his immediate family.
So as he's walking, he bumps into a familiar face. It's his neighbor, who he respectfully calls Uncle Khalid. This is the perfect chance to use another really key greeting. And here it is. This is probably the most recognized greeting in the entire Muslim world. Assalamu alaikum. It's so much more than just hello. It's a genuine wish for peace to be upon the person you're talking to.
And the reply is just as meaningful. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, which means, and upon you be peace and the mercy of Allah and His blessings. And hey, would you look at that? There's that familiar question again. Kaifa haluka? See? This repetition is exactly how these phrases start to stick in your head.
And just like that, the school day is over. It's time to head back home, where, you guessed it, another greeting is waiting.
So he walks in the door and lets his mom know he's there. It's a really simple, practical phrase. Laqad udtu ya ummi. It just means, I have returned, my mother. Or, more casually, I'm back.
The day starts to wind down. Ahmad, being a good student, hits the books for a bit, reviewing his lessons before he gets ready for bed, bringing our little story full circle. And just like he started the day with a small prayer, he ends it with one too. Bismika Allahumma ahya wa amut. He's basically entrusting his soul to God while he sleeps.
Okay, so we made it. We followed Ahmad through his entire day. The story itself was simple, but wow, it was packed with some incredibly useful language, right? So let's pull out those key phrases and really lock them into our memory.
All right, here are the heavy hitters from Ahmad's day. We heard Sabahul Khair for good morning. We heard Kaifa haluka for how are you, and the response, Ana bi khair. Now, we didn't actually hear the next three in our story, but they're so essential I wanted to give them to you anyway. If someone asked, Aina tathab, where are you going? And to end a conversation, you'll always need shukran, for thank you, and ila alika, which means see you again. So, we've listened to Ahmad,
We've gone over the phrases. Now comes the most important part of all, making this stuff your own.
So really, I'm asking you, when you wake up tomorrow morning, when you see your family, or maybe a neighbor, what are you going to say? You have the words now. Is it going to be Sabah al-Khair? Or maybe you'll go with Assalamu alaikum.
The real key here is just practice. Just try to use one of these phrases tomorrow. I promise, the more you use them, the more they become a totally natural part of your day, just like they are for Ahmad. Keep at it, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Ila liqa.